Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all doing really well. Today we're going to be talking about OnlyFans. I'm sure you guys have noticed that OnlyFans has become quite a big thing in the past year, and a lot of YouTubers have started to move over to the platform, and as a result, a lot of scandals have been coming up as of recent. So much so that I almost feel like the migration of YouTubers from YouTube to OnlyFans feels a little bit destructive. So I thought it might be interesting to kind of look at some of the big stories that have come out of YouTubers joining OnlyFans, the effects that it's had on the site and just the culture of OnlyFans in general, and just have a little discussion on it. We're gonna put our thinking caps on today. There are gonna be a few content warnings for this video that I'm gonna be putting up right here on the screen. I'm also gonna have timestamps in a pinned comment so that if you guys are just looking to avoid certain things, you guys will be able to figure out where to skip. I'm not sure if my mic is gonna catch how crazy my candle's going in the background, but before we continue on with the video, I do want to give a quick thank you to Function of Beauty who sponsored today's video. As you guys know, I'm a pretty big fan of Function of Beauty's custom hair care. All you have to do is fill out a 2-minute quiz outlining your hair type, hair goals, and personalized preferences, then choose your color and fragrance, and even get to choose the name on the bottle, which personally is my favorite feature because then I get to call my shampoo and conditioner Function of Sweaty. And what's great is that Function of Beauty has no parabens, sulfates, GMOs, or toxins, and they're 100% vegan and cruelty-free. When it comes to my hair, I have straight, fine, and oily hair, so my hair goals this time around were to lengthen, control oil, volumize, and moisturize. And scent-wise, I went with their new fragrance, Isn't She Bubbly, that's available for a limited time. It's described as sparkling champagne with hints of citrus, which I can definitely tell because my hair smells like a grapefruit whenever I use it. You can also get it as a scent in any of their hair care or body care items beyond just their shampoo and conditioner. Also, the stickers on the bottle are actually from Function of Beauty. They come free with every order, and these are some of the new winter ones. The nice thing about Function of Beauty is that because the formula is customizable, you can actually change it depending on the season that you're in. For me, in the warmer months, I have to deal with frizziness a lot more, so I like to put the anti-frizz goal in my formula, but obviously since it's a lot colder here in Canada now, I just swapped that out with the moisturized one to help me deal with dryness, and now I'm good for winter. My hair just overall feels healthier, definitely has a lot more volume to it, and I'm not dealing with as much dryness where my hair feels like hay after I blow dry it, which is great. They do even more than just customizable hair care though. They've got leave-in treatments, hair serums, hair masks, and even body wash and lotion, and they're all 100% customizable too. I've been using Function of Beauty for the past 7 months, and I can't imagine using anything else. So if you want to see how these can work for you, use my link below to get 20% off. So before we can actually talk about the destructive migration of YouTubers to OnlyFans, we have to talk about what is OnlyFans. According to Wikipedia, OnlyFans is a content subscription service where creators can earn money from users who subscribe to their content, the fans. It's popular with sex workers, but also hosts content creators from other genres such as physical fitness experts, musicians, and other creators who post regularly online. It allows content creators to receive funding directly from their fans on a monthly basis, as well as on one-off tips and the pay-per-view feature. And I'd say that's a pretty fair description. So think spicy Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, actually, you might be wondering what exactly is the difference between Patreon and OnlyFans, and why does OnlyFans feel so much more popular? The reality is that Patreon and OnlyFans are extremely similar, which makes it even more interesting to me why YouTubers would be deciding to go to OnlyFans or swap from Patreon to OnlyFans when I feel like Patreon's had the YouTuber stamp of approval for a lot longer because people have been using it for much longer. My personal theory is that I think it has a lot to do with the hype. While they did first launch in 2016, OnlyFans has seen a massive surge in popularity this year. As of August, they reported that in the last 6 months that they had nearly doubled the number of user and creator accounts that they'd had previously. We're talking 50 million registered users and over 350,000 content creators as of last August. They also claimed that the platform was averaging 200,000 new users and 8,000 new content creators every day. So clearly a lot of people are interested in OnlyFans, but how has it become this popular? I think it's safe to assume that the popularity of OnlyFans has come from its reputation of turning people from struggling to apparently bathing in just pools upon pools of money. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who hasn't seen a post or a tweet or a TikTok of someone detailing their experience where they joined OnlyFans and suddenly they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. And they always make sure to make it sound like it's super easy, like just start an OnlyFans. So of course, like any other situation where someone's promoting a job that's seen as easy money, you're gonna have a lot of people talking about it. But considering that OnlyFans also brings in the controversy of sex work, I think that makes it even more buzzworthy. Not only are people making bank online, but they're doing it in a way that a lot of people would deem controversial. It's essentially the perfect mix of controversy and mystery, and people eat that shit up. myself included. And the more that people talk about it, the more that people who are actually interested in joining, whether that's as a viewer or a creator, are gonna learn about the app and join it themselves. So we know that OnlyFans is super popular right now. We know why it's so popular, but why are YouTubers and celebrities starting to join it? Money. Like, let's be honest here, it's money. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the same kind of intention that goes behind creating a Patreon or whatever platform you choose where you would charge people for extra content. The reality of being in the online space and that being your main source of income is that at times it can be unstable. And having a reliable stream of income in the form of creating extra content that people can pay for is a smart idea. It's a relationship where you're able to offer extra perks to people who are willing to pay for those perks, and you get stability and they get extra content. Like, everyone wins. Now you might be thinking, okay, but they could have done that on Patreon ages ago. Like, why are they suddenly deciding to use OnlyFans instead? And I think this is where the debate between OnlyFans and Patreon really starts. Because I honestly think there's only two main reasons why somebody would choose to open an OnlyFans instead of a Patreon. The first reason is definitely the most obvious, and that would be that it's just the most trendy right now. OnlyFans is being talked about to a degree that I've never seen Patreon discussed on before. And I feel like you can kind of compare people jumping on OnlyFans to situations where, like, for example, YouTubers will jump onto TikTok because it's a growing new platform. Because you have to remember that while OnlyFans does have the reputation of being for sex work, that's not the only thing that they offer. The second reason is definitely more speculation on my part, so I'm definitely interested to see if you guys agree with me on it or disagree. I personally feel like the mainstream image of OnlyFans has really painted a platform where people feel like it's just an easy job where you can make easy content and get easy money. Which of course is not true, but nonetheless that's the image that's floating around right now. And because of that, I think a lot of creators are jumping to that platform because they feel like the expectations for the content they'll put on there and charge for are lower than the expectations on other platforms they would typically choose. I'm specifically talking about the ones that are safe for work, not the ones that are not safe for work. An example I can think of off the top of my head would be how a lot of people have been choosing to open second Instagrams on their OnlyFans. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like because the standards of OnlyFans when it comes to non-NSFW content are kind of just all over the place right now, that people feel like it's easier to open up content like that and charge for it on OnlyFans versus Patreon, where people have kind of set a standard for certain kind of perks that you'd expect there. And those expected perks would be things that are a little bit more work than just opening a second Instagram, which could be things like early access to content or extra content in general or custom content. But I think this is where the problem started, because you have creators who are jumping onto a platform that offers NSFW content, and if anything, that feature is a crucial piece of their mainstream identity. But you can post non-NSFW content on there, and the standards for that content kind of exist in a gray area where nobody really knows what to expect from someone's OnlyFans if they aren't a sex worker. And I think a lot of YouTubers and celebrities are choosing the platform over Patreon because they're weaponizing that gray area for profit. But again, that is just speculation on my part, but we will be talking about that a little bit later. So we know that YouTubers and celebrities are joining OnlyFans at an alarming rate, but what is the effect of that? The first effect I feel like is pretty obvious, which would be that it is normalizing the platform. Separating the actual actions from these YouTubers and celebrities who have been on the platform and maybe have caused trouble, you can't deny that they have brought attention to the platform and have normalized it for a lot of people. I didn't even know that OnlyFans let you post non-NSFW content until I saw another creator choose it over Patreon for their just regular perks. And if I hadn't have seen that, I probably would have thought that it was still just a site for sex workers. So not only are they normalizing OnlyFans as a site, but they're bringing attention to the other options that OnlyFans has. It isn't a site exclusively for NSFW content, it's just a site that also allows NSFW content. And it's one of the few mainstream platforms that does. The only issue is that a lot of the problems that famous people joining OnlyFans have caused for the site is that they're using the reputation of OnlyFans to inadvertently trick people into thinking that they're paying for something, and in reality when they get it, it's not what they expected. Which feels like a perfect time to bring up Bella Thorne. Now obviously Bella Thorne isn't a YouTuber, but I think that her story is very important to tell when you're discussing things like people with pre-established audiences joining onto sites like OnlyFans. For those of you guys who need a bit of a Sparks Note version on what happened with Bella Thorne on OnlyFans, basically she made $1 million in a single day and then later raised that total to $2 million in 6 days after opening her own OnlyFans. She did tweet that she wouldn't be doing any kind of nudity or anything like that, and she set the subscription price for $20 a month, but remember earlier that OnlyFans does also offer pay-per-view posts. So if you want to see those kind of posts, you'd have to pay the subscription fee and the price of whatever the post is set at. And this is where the problem started. She sent her fans a pay-per-view post with the caption, naked, naked, yes, naked, where you'd have to pay $200 to unlock it. There's even a screenshot where someone had actually asked her how naked is the question for $200, and she responded with this. So a lot of people paid $200 expecting naked, and they did not get naked. Naturally, a lot of people were very angry about this because they had just been scammed at the hands of Bella Thorne, and a lot of people were asking for refunds. And of course, the sheer scale of this caught OnlyFans in a lot of controversy. And while they don't cite Bella Thorne as the reason, they now suddenly have new rules for creators like a 30-day payout, a max tip of $100, and $50 max post price. Now, the first question you might have is, why would she do this? Like, this just sounds like a really shitty thing to do. According to her, she had actually joined as part of research for a film role, even though the director came out after the fact and was like, that was super early talks for something in the very distant future, like, don't drag me into this. She told the New York Times that she wanted to know the ins and outs. What does a platform like this do to its users? What's the connective material between your life and your life inside the world of OnlyFans? How can it change your life for the worse and for the better? And how far are you willing to go, and how far do you want to go? And the thing is, I don't actually think this is a bad idea. I think exploring the lives of people on OnlyFans beyond what we typically see, which is just massive creators saying, LOL, I make a lot of money off of it, is important, especially in the context of sex work on that platform, because it's made sex work a lot more accessible, which means there is the risk of a lot more people getting into it without realizing the risks. But why would you think a celebrity's experience on OnlyFans would be an accurate way to answer these questions when the majority of people on OnlyFans as sex workers aren't famous already? That's where it doesn't make sense to me that Bella Thorne wanted to be the one to tell this story. It just ends up sounding like a bad episode of Undercover Boss. Now, Tana Mongeau, who actually is a YouTuber, actually took Bella Thorne's scandal as an opportunity to promote her own OnlyFans, which is definitely ironic considering that she's been dealing with the same issues with her OnlyFans. It's definitely on a lot lower of a scale and less serious, but nonetheless, it's the same issue. The issue with her OnlyFans is that the people who had paid at the time the $44 a month subscription price had expected something completely different than what they had actually gotten, which according to people on Twitter was content that she could have easily just been posting on Instagram for free, while she's promoting this content as risque, uncensored, never before seen, etc, etc. While both Tana and Bella used OnlyFans' reputation to their advantage, I do think Tana is a better example of it because she didn't make the mistake that Bella made where she explicitly said nudity. Instead, Tana just kind of skips around the reputation of OnlyFans and waits for people to expect something, pay for it, and then not get it. So is there a problem with doing this? Yes, you're false advertising. And if anything, it's almost like extreme clickbait. But the difference between clickbait on YouTube is that you're not out any money when you click a video and don't get what you thought you were gonna get. Versus with OnlyFans, you're out $44. If I sound like a billy goat, I'm sorry, I'm really sick right now. But I also just want to make it clear that the issue here isn't that she isn't posting NSFW content that her fans expected alone. If that expectation was unfounded, that's not Tana's problem. OnlyFans isn't just for sex work, and she can post and charge for whatever she wants on there. But it's the fact that she gave her fans that expectation by promoting her OnlyFans as if that kind of content would be there when it isn't. I actually found a podcast where she better explains her OnlyFans, and I feel like if she had used this explanation when actually promoting her account, there wouldn't be nearly as many issues, but there also likely wouldn't be as many subscribers, which is likely why she doesn't promote her OnlyFans like this on her major platforms.
Do you not post any of that raunchy shit online anymore, like only on OnlyFans for monetization reasons?
If anything, it's that I had to hold back like a whole caliber of who I am for so long, like, and I would let it out occasionally. Like, people obviously know I'm a crazy bitch. Like, you could look at my shit and assume that I'm probably crazier off camera, but there was always a level that I was kind of holding back, especially with like MTV and stuff. I was just kind of being crazy there. But then after a while, I was like, all I do is smoke, all I do is talk about sex stuff. That's what people want to hear too, like, you know what I mean, and want me to do. So I was just like, I'll do it there.
It's also worth considering the effect that stuff like this has on the people that use OnlyFans and their likelihood of returning to the platform as a customer. If I got scammed on a website, I'm not going back to that website again. So you've got influencers scamming their audiences at an alarming rate, and while you can't really figure out if it's directly impacting the likelihood of those users continuing to use the app and pay for content from other creators, I don't feel like it's a stretch to assume it might be, which I'm sure is very frustrating for the people who use OnlyFans as their main source of income, just watching these influencers swoop in, bring all these people to the platform, scam them, piss them off, and then leave a bad taste in their mouth regarding the platform as a whole. But there actually is one other YouTuber who's managed to leave a worse taste in people's mouths when it comes to YouTubers on OnlyFans, and that would be Gabby DeMartino. Now, the Gabby DeMartino topic is a lot different and a lot more serious than Bella Thorne and Tana Mongeau on OnlyFans, and that's because it involves CP. And I'm not talking about Club Penguin. Gabby had opened an OnlyFans that was supposed to serve as kind of like a Finsta where her fans could get a closer experience with her. And if you look back on Twitter before this whole scandal happened, you can actually see her fans talking about it and promoting it to other fans, saying it was a great way to talk to her because she answered her DMs. The whole idea of her OnlyFans was if you bought into it, you'd be part of like this little fan club where she'd interact with you a lot and post non-NSFW content from her life. Now that on its own sounds fine and probably would have been a great example of a YouTuber using OnlyFans in a way that didn't harm anybody, because there was no lying by omission, and overall she wasn't like leading people on or insinuating her content was going to be something it wasn't. But unfortunately that didn't last for long, because for some reason she had decided to sell a pay-per-view piece of content with the caption "won't put my panties on" for $3. Alarm bell number one is that her fan base is quite young, and I feel like that's a weird thing to send people on a platform that already has a stronger sexual tone than other social media platforms when that isn't what they signed up for. It's clear that Gabby's fans were joining the OnlyFans so that they could get a response to their DMs and just have a closer relationship with her, not get requests like these. Alarm bell number two was that the content in question was a video of her as a toddler lifting her skirt to a camera. Apparently this was meant to be taken as a joke, and I do kind of get what she was trying to do, maybe, like kind of being like, oh, gotcha, you thought you were getting a scandalous photo of me, and instead it's just me as a little kid. But you kind of can't ignore the elephant in the room, which is that that was footage of you exposing yourself as a toddler to a camera, and you just sold that to people on a platform that's known for sharing pornography. I don't really know how you can miss how wrong that is to do, and like, probably illegal. Naturally, she got a lot of backlash for this, and rightly so, and now her OnlyFans account actually doesn't even exist anymore. So what exactly does Gabby DeMartino's experience with OnlyFans mean for the platform? I think for one, it shows that if you're gonna be on a platform that allows NSFW content, you have to be a lot more conscious of the jokes that you're trying to make and the type of content that you sell on there. But I do think that her mistake shows a different kind of destruction to OnlyFans as a platform that differs from Bella Thorne and Tana Mongeau. Because while I might not know the particular legality of sharing that kind of content of yourself as a child in that kind of context, I can't imagine that anybody who paid for that content was expecting or looking for content that now after the fact they're wondering if they're going to be getting booked on a CP charge or not. All because you purposely chose that footage and that vague caption that would have made it impossible for anyone buying that content to know that they were paying for content of you as a child. So considering all of this, you might be sitting here going, wow, YouTubers and famous people on OnlyFans is a real shit show. And you're not wrong. The site already has controversy right now in regards to payment issues for their creators, so the absolutely unnecessary noise that YouTubers looking to bag another check contribute to the OnlyFans conversation by just being on that platform is just unneeded. Like, if you're gonna be on the platform, fine, but stop using OnlyFans' reputation to charade your own content as something that it's not, just to boost your subscriptions. Being a massive creator or celebrity on an app and scamming users affects more people than just you, and you look like a dick. All you're doing is making a mockery of the people who actually do this for real as a job, and are making the platform where they make their livelihood look like a joke and a place where you're bound to get scammed. In all, I do feel like there is room for YouTubers and famous people on OnlyFans if they stop being so shady. Will we ever reach that point? I don't know, but it would be nice to see. I'm definitely curious to see what you guys think on this whole situation and all the scandals that keep coming out of YouTubers joining OnlyFans or just famous people going onto the app in general. I think this is one of those topics where the discussion's gonna be very interesting. There's definitely some things that are like clearly wrong, should not be done on there, but I do think that there's a lot of room to discuss a lot of different things. Of course, before we end today's video, we have to do this week's Sweaty Shoutout that comes from our Discord, because we have a Discord now. I'll leave a link below for anyone who's interested in joining, but the shoutout today goes to Stars, who sent this photo that says, "Why am I alive?" If you want to get a shoutout for yourself, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram, and then DM me your favorite meme of the week, and you might get chosen. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. You can also put my post notifications on if you want to be notified every single time that I upload. And if you want to follow me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are both Casey Aonso. That's about it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.